Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Now I am excited to announce that I have teamed up with Ace Cosplay to bring you a little collaboration video. Now what we're going to do is have a little cheeky competition. We're going to set ourselves some parameters and see if we can build something within those parameters. Now what we've decided to do is the £20 prop challenge. Now if you haven't seen the announcement for this challenge, please check the link in the description below. I will leave a link to Ace's video, it's over on her channel. You can go and see that, where we just sort of discuss it a little bit. But can we build an accurate movie prop for £20 or under? Let's find out. Right, so this is going to be a bit of a challenge now because we are used to building props with sort of no budget in mind. I just usually buy bits as I need them and make the prop sort of the best that I can. So for this one we're going to have to sort of just look at getting things from different places the best way. Now I could just download a 3D model and poop it out on the 3D printer, but that would be cheating. We want to use as much of our making skills as possible to make this, so it's time to get crafty. Now for mine, I've decided to do the Royal Naboo Blaster from Star Wars Episode 1. It's a little blaster about this big. I'll pull up some reference for you so you can have a look at that. There we go, not too difficult I don't think. There's a few primary shapes in there we just have to work out. I'm thinking some piping, just maybe some wood or foam should the budget sort of waver a little bit. Now keeping track of the money in this build is kind of important, so I'm just going to run a little total on the screen, probably in the corner, just so you can keep up with how much this build is costing so that we stay under that £20 budget. So that's going to go there. Now the base of these blasters, it's believed, if you look at the reference, are gas lighters that you use to light fires. If you look at the barrel and the end of the barrel, it shares some really strong characteristics with these, and we think these were used just as a base to work from. Now I've managed to find this. This was just bought off of Amazon. It is a firelighter. You click it, it sparks to light a fire. Now this is very blaster-like. It's got the right kind of barrel length. I was mainly trying to match the end there because it's got a very distinct end on here that kind of flares out with these little notches, and this is the closest I could find that the budget would allow. Now the fact that it's also gun-shaped is very handy. It's a good base to go on. I do think I'm going to have to take off the handle because the handle probably comes a bit shorter and we're probably going to have to trim this down here, but this is a good base to start with. Now I'm going to print out some reference photos because that's sort of imperative when you're building something like this. I'm going to try and scale it off of what I think is the right kind of size, and let's go from there. Now I'm also kind of basing my size around this tube that I have here. I bought this a while back for a few of my builds. I paid, a price for a length of it, so whatever I use here I'm going to work out and of course include into my build. I think that's a fair way to do it. It's not cheating. So here's my first printout for scale. It's just a quick print on the printer. Don't want to waste any ink here. Here is the base for it. As you can see, we're a little undersized on the print, so all I did was reprint them a little bigger, and as you can see this one is much better. This is what we're going to be going off. I also use my pipe to get the scale, and this is the main reason to print this off, and this is pretty much an exact fit for the width on my drawing here. From this we can just get our length and begin cutting the pipe down. Now I'm just going to use some tape to mark around where I want to cut. One of the pipe cutters I used before left this really horrible textured surface on the end here. I don't want to spend time kind of grinding it away, so I'm going to use my miter box and hacksaw and just cut it off, and then find the length we need and cut it off. So there we go, that's our cut edge. We cleaned off that nasty bit. I'm just going to use some files to clean up the edge so we don't cut ourselves. That's better. I've just got to be careful on the outside edge. I'm going to leave the tape on while I do it because this is going to be our finished edge, hopefully. Much better. Now I'm just going to work out how long. I've got it pretty much, it's pretty much 11. Pretty much reads as that, so I'm just going to put a mark on here and cut it at 11 centimeters, and that'll give us our main barrel. Our marks in. Now I also had to ponder how I was going to do these strange egg shapes. I had to try and find something within the budget. What I've come up with are these. These literally arrived while I was filming this. But what they are dummy homing pigeon eggs. I have no idea what they're for, but I managed to find a set of about 10 of these or so for not a lot of money on eBay. Again, just check here. But as they turned out, they fit this pipe so well. I mean, the measurements are pretty spot on, and they really do match the shapes on this drawing. It's incredible. So there we go. There's the look that we're going for. These are the dummy eggs in each end here. We've got our size sorted out. There we go. Now just to make this bigger until the barrel can fit through. Now, as I was drilling out my eggs here and sort of rough assembling with my pipe, I kind of realised that it's going to be a bit pointless trying to accommodate the body of the lighter into this, because it seems like a lot of work cutting out some of this. I did want to keep the trigger function working and try and incorporate it into the handle, but I don't think we're going to be able to do that. So I'm just going to go ahead. I've pulled out the barrel of the lighter, and that just slots straight in to the hole. We can get that right down in there when I'm ready to glue it in, and that's going to sit just like that. Yes. Now I've just got to plan the handle section, and I think we're going to go with actual wood for this, so I've got to go and see what I've got to use. So right now I'm just planning out my handle section. I cut out the grips from my printout here, so we had something to go on, and then from that I drew a template and I've now roughed it out of foam. Now on doing this I realised it's a little on the small side, so I decided to adjust my template so we've got something a little bigger, and then also cut that out of foam, and that's much better. You can see there. Now my plan is with this is to use MDF to make the handle. What I'm going to do, I think, is do something like this. So we've got, going to cut out 3 the same. The middle one will have a tab like this, which will go up into the barrel section, and then the trigger will also be on that middle piece, which is kind of similar to the reference. And then I'm just going to sand down all the edges so that they match the reference. So I'm going to go and find some MDF and cut these out. So I've gone ahead and cut these pieces out of wood. What I'm going to be doing is, like my foam bit, sticking these 3 together to make the handle, and then we're going to be shaping it down. So what I'm going to do now, before we stick it together, is taper the inside of these. But what this is going to be doing is sitting up flush against the cylinder, and you can imagine that's a flat edge. It's not going to sit very well, so I'm going to sand the inside of this to more of a curve, so hopefully it'll sit a bit better against the tube. I'm just going to be using the Dremel and a sanding wheel. So there we go, that's the edge piece just beveled. There you go, you can see it like that. So this should help it sit flush. We'll have to do some more shaping and stuff once we get it all glued together, but that's a good start for now. So also by our reference, the main tube piece kind of tapers here into this egg shape, which we've got the eggs for.
What I'm going to do is try and grind my tube. The tube's not very wide, but we're going to try it anyway. I'm going to try and grind just the end away, just to try and get this shape. I'm going to use a scrap piece to practice on first, just to see if we can get it. But this is our tube, so we're just going to have a go at just taking away this edge. So hopefully this edge goes into nothing. So here's my scrap piece. I kind of did a first cut and then a secondary one to sort of help blend that out. Could probably do a third one just to blend this out, or maybe use some hand filing to get it in, but I think that's turned out alright. I think I'm going to do it on my actual ones, because it's quite a nice, you can probably polish out that transition a little bit, but yeah, I'm quite liking that. Let's have a go on the real ones. So there we go, that's as far as I think I can take it on there. I think I'm going to try and clean it up with the polishing wheel, but there's only so much you can do with basic tools, I think, without lathes and stuff, so I think we're just going to leave it there for that. But yeah, there's a little bit more dimension to the overall thing. So we've got to cut a hole in here for this piece to go up into, like that. So we've got to mark out and cut this with a cutting wheel, I think. Actually, because these bits are a bit oversized, I'm actually going to glue these and start shaping them a bit first before we get to that, because they're a bit wrong. They like on this curve, we need to sort of sort out the curve there. So working out the placement will be easier once these are a bit more finished. So here we go, we transferred our foam templates to the wood. All I'm going to do here, I think, is I'm still debating when to use like a PVA glue, which is a wood glue, you know, just stick these together. But I'm just toying with using super glue because I'm going to want to sand and shape these, and I don't know whether the super glue is going to be sort of rough if I get down to it. So I'm still deciding on that. But we've got our front and back egg pieces. That one's got the hole drilled for the barrel, which is there. That's been cut down. And here's our main piece that's been beveled on the end, and I've just run it quickly on the polisher. It's polished up. I might use some steel wool just to touch it up, but this will probably oxidize back down because I'm not going to finish it in any way. So because I want to coat these in silver, the best way to do that is to give an undercoat in black. So I've just got this Tamiya black. Then I'm just going to go over the top with the rub and buff to make them a silver colour, which should match in with this nicely once we're done. There we go, just rest in there. It's not going to go anywhere. Now I've just got to stick my three handle sections together. We've got our sanded tops. I'm just going to use wood glue, I think, because it's got a longer cure time and just more time for me to set it up. We've got lots of clamps, so I can clamp these together real tight, and that'll hold it all together while the glue dries. I'm just going to rough up the contact insides with a bit of sandpaper or file, or maybe a knife. That means we'll get a good gripping surface on the glue. I'm just going to be using this to glue it together. It says we've got a good bond in 5 to 10 minutes and then a cure time of about 24 hours. So I'm just going to leave it for a day to cure properly. But yeah. I'm just going to line these up. Yes, I can. Didn't cut them great, but that shouldn't matter. One. clamps. Give him the clamps. I think that's clamped. So I've just liberated this from my clamps. It seems to have stuck really well. Hopefully it'll stay stuck together when I start sanding. I've just bought a load of new sanding bits, which I'm going to go and use now, and hopefully try and refine some of this shape so it looks a bit more like the reference. So I'm rating my grinding set. Sanding and grinding, cutting and all sorts. I'm going to use the flapper wheel. Get him out. There he goes. To hopefully hog away some of this handle. Okay. There it is. And get it to look more like my reference, which is there. So I've actually resorted to a palm sander. I'm ruining the sanding pad. But in order to hog away the kind of material I wanted to, I had to use that because the Dremel wasn't doing it. But I've done one side. And you can see this is coming much more like the shape that I want, which matches our reference. Just gotta streamline this side and then start the other side. Yeah, this is looking much more hopeful. Here we go. We're moving along with the shaping of this. It's looking much better now compared to our reference. The angle's a bit off, but I'm not too worried. I'm just going to cut in that shape down there with the sanding drum, I think. But other than that, we're getting pretty close here, I think. Just need to clean up some of the transitions here. So here we are after a fair bit of sanding away. You can see my 3 bits have become this piece of more or less round handle. I'm really happy with how it's going. One thing I've got to do is where we had some laminations in the wood, we've got some gaps where the wood was warped, so I'm just going to go in with some wood filler and hopefully fill that, and then do a final sort of pass on the sanding, and that should be the handle. Yes, that's the stuff. So our handles are all finished and sanded. Look at that, we've filled all the bits. Hopefully the stain will take on all those areas. I'm going to be using a wood dye, which will dye that dark brown that we want to match our reference. Again, with pricing, I'm just going to price it as what I use from this, so we're not paying for the tin outright, but that should keep it within budget. It's not cheating. Shh. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and dye this and then leave it overnight to cure. So there it is. That's taken the dye nicely. It's not taken so well sort of here where there's been filler, but that's okay, don't mind. It's dyed a nice colour, and I love that you can still see that it is in fact wood, but that's all good. I'm going to leave that to set overnight, and we're going to come back and finish it tomorrow. So I've gone ahead and cut out the bottom piece of my tube here. This then sits on here. Do it one-handed. There we go. That's going to sit like that, and then we've just got the front and back eggs to go in there. Other than that, looking good. I'm just going to use some paint or rub and buff to paint the trigger silver. That's all it was in the original prop as well. So apart from that, we are nearly there. So I'm just in the process of gluing together all my blaster bits. We've silvered up the trigger with some rub and buff. This has been glued on. The tab, you can see here. Let's fill that with glue, and it's stuck on. Now I've just had a quick problem with the eggs here. They are a damn good fit to here, but there's actually a gap around them, which makes them a bit more tricky to glue. So what I'm doing is just using some thin craft foam. You won't be able to see that one now, but you just glue some craft foam on the inside of here, and then this makes this a really tight press fit. So just added some glue to that, and that is in there. So I'm just going to do the back, and then we're pretty much there. Okay, there we are. That's all the bits glued in. It's nice and solid now. Look at that. Now, if you hadn't already guessed from my rubbish filming and editing of this video, and also by checking the budget in the corner, there is actually enough to build another one, and that's exactly what I did. So we've got the short barrel version and the long barrel version. This one is actually going to be a gift for Ace, and it's a surprise. Shh. Keeping that quiet. But I just got to build the black cover that kind of goes over the front of this one, and I'm just going to be doing that out of Warbler, and that should pretty much eat up the rest of the budget, to be honest, because that stuff is expensive. But yeah, this one will be a surprise, so hopefully in the reveal video that is done as a surprise. But yeah, just got to heat up some Warbler and shape it over the end to get that final bit.
So there we go, guys, that's it. That's our Naboo Blaster complete for the £20 prop challenge. And of course I've not got one, but two. Here you can see the black piece I made out of Warbler. Now I just covered this in PVA glue to seal it, and then did a quick layer of Tamiya black. Makes it nice and shiny. It fits really well. Actually really like the feel of this one. It's really cool. But that's the two. I'm just going to go and do the reveal video. This will probably go up after the reveal video, so hopefully it went okay, but I guess you might have seen that already. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed following along on this £20 prop challenge. I do encourage you to have a go yourself. It is a great way to try and test sort of resourcefulness and your crafty skills. Yeah, those are mine. Hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.